Hey guys, Sean Lentz here from Appalachian DIY. If you came across this video, you're probably wondering how to legally dig on your property and all the questions that you may have to start the process. Well, we're going to answer all those for you today. The first thing that we're going to go over is when do we actually need to send in a one call? The easy answer is anytime you're using a mechanized piece, like the one behind me. It could be something big like a backhoe, track hoe, even a skid steer, mini excavator, anything like that. But don't forget, also smaller pieces like an augered post hole digger is a mechanized piece also, and that does qualify. Okay, so maybe you're not going to use a backhoe or an excavator to put something small in like a mailbox. You might use a post hole auger or just a pick and a shovel. But for a mailbox, just think about where it's located. Usually at the end of your driveway, right near a road. Now, a lot of utility companies follow roads to supply you with those utilities. Gas, electric, communications, and usually they're right by the edge of the road where you're going to put your mailbox. So this is still a really good example of when you're going to need to put a one call in. The last place that we're going to talk about is when we're putting in flower beds, trees, shrubs, anything like that. That's a lot of hand digging, and even those places can have the potential of lines running under them. Okay, so now you know when to call in, but let's talk about one last thing before you actually do, and that's marking your area for excavation. You can do that with a white line paint, just make a dotted line, or use white flags. Now, let's talk a little bit about the area that you're going to be marking. There's no rules or regulations of how big or how small it can be. If you're just doing a little shrub, it's perfectly fine to make a little painted circle around it of 3 feet or so, and that's fine. But just think about that for a little bit. Say your wife doesn't like it in that area, or you need to put it somewhere else, or you want to put 5 more in, but you didn't mark it for that. So now you need to go through the whole process over again. So my advice to you is make it as big as your property line. If you have a half an acre or less, that's totally plausible. That way, if you need to move your digging area to anywhere else on your property, you can do so and not get in trouble for going outside of that marked area and digging where someone didn't mark. Now it's time to actually call in to 811. What's going to happen is you're going to get hooked up with a call center in your state, and you're going to have to answer a ton of questions. So what we're going to do is go over all the things that they need to know right now so you guys are more prepared. They're going to ask you for your name and your type of digging that you're going to be doing. Are you going to be doing excavating, demolition, or sewer cleaning? Those are the 3 main ones. They're going to ask if it's at your private residence. They're going to need to know the address of the dig site, the county, and municipality. They're also going to want to know the nearest intersection and main road. They're going to want to know if it's in a subdivision like an HOA, Green Acres, whatever that may be. And the area. Now this is the area on the property that you're going to be digging. And it's thought of as you're standing on the road looking into your house or your home or the dig site wherever you're going to be. And it's to the left of the house, to the right of the house, whatever area you can describe it as, it's from the perspective of the road. They're also going to want to know if it's already been outlined, which you should have done already, and any other information that is going to help them locate the excavation site. They're going to want to know the type of work that you're doing. Are you putting in a French drain, a water line, putting in a flower bed, digging a hole for a tree? They're going to want to know the depth of that excavation and also the width of it. And the type of equipment that you're going to be using. Are you going to be using an excavator or just shovels and rakes? Are you going to be doing the work yourself? Now, don't get freaked out by this one. It's not a bad answer to say, yeah, I'm a homeowner, I'm just going to wing it and try it out and do it myself. There's no wrong answer there, and that's perfectly fine. Here's another important one. Who is going to be the on-site contact while you're doing the digging? If you're calling this in, but you're having someone else dig it, that is the person who needs to be the on-site contact. Because if something comes up where the call center needs to call you on the dig site, they need to get a hold of something that's actually there, not you who is calling it in. Another important thing they're going to ask you is, when do you plan on starting the dig? Here in Pennsylvania, it's 3 days. So say you call in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is the first day that you're able to dig. So make sure you guys are giving this enough advance notice. You're going to be given a serial number, and that is specific to your dig. So say you dig and you hit a line, go ahead and call into the call center, and the serial number that you give them, they'll be able to pull up your entire profile, see where you're at, and who needs to be notified. So there's a lot of stuff that you guys need to know. I'll mark it up here and in the description below so you guys can get a list and write it out before you call in. Now that you have waited the allotted amount of time, go ahead out to your dig site and see what was actually marked. All of the utility companies have a color code system that you can see right here. See what's on yours. Now, if you have something like this, a fire hydrant that's right next to your dig, there should be blue lines running up to this thing and away from it. If it's not marked, there's a good chance that it got missed. So look for things like fire hydrants, electrical meters, gas meters, any above ground structure that usually and typically has underground utilities running to and from it, and make sure that they're marked near your dig site. Okay guys, I know I'm going to get this question a lot, so here's a little bonus for you. How far away from those marked lines on your excavation dig do you need to stop digging with a mechanized piece and start hand digging? So I have this pool noodle as our utility line that has been marked, and the general rule of thumb is you need to be 18 to 24 inches off of that marked line to start hand digging. Now, say this is a 24-inch pipe, okay? You need to measure from the outside of that 18 and 24 inches. So if this is a 24-inch pipe, you need to measure off 12 inches from that line to get to the outside of your pipe, and then measure 18 to 24 inches. That's where you got to stop with your mechanized piece and start hand digging. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you head over to Appalachian DIY to check out more videos, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again, guys, and I hope to see you next time.